In January 2023, two young Argentine women, Maria Jose Can and Marina Manazo, embarked on a trip to explore the beautiful landscapes of South America. They documented their journey on social media, sharing their experiences with friends and family. However, their adventure took a dark turn, leading to a tragic and mysterious end. The girls' Instagram posts revealed that they were in the Peruvian city of Cusco on January 13th, a city known for its rich history as the former capital of the Inca Empire. They visited famous landmarks such as Machu Picchu, an ancient Inca city often referred to as the city above the clouds. The last post on Maria's Instagram account was on February 22nd, where she shared a photo of herself with Marina, expressing concern about their disappearance in Manita, Ecuador. The families of Maria and Marina were worried when they couldn't contact the girls. They had planned to take a bus from Ecuador to Lima, spend the night at a friend's house, and then fly to Santiago, the capital of Chile, on February 25th. From there, they would take a bus to their native Mendoza in Argentina. However, the girls' families faced difficulties in obtaining information from the airline about their departure. On February 27th, a tragic discovery was made. The body of Maria Jose Can was found near Montanita, Ecuador. Just 43 yards away, the body of Marina Manazo was also discovered. Both bodies were wrapped in plastic bags and duct tape. Autopsies revealed that Maria died from blunt force trauma to the head, and Marina's cause of death was consistent with the same type of violence. Toxicological analysis showed that their blood contained a significant amount of a drug used in psychiatric treatment. The Ecuadorian police swiftly arrested two suspects, Alberto Segundo Minapan and Aurelio Eduardo Rodriguez, who later pleaded guilty to the crimes. Han confessed that he had attempted to persuade Maria into intimacy, but when she resisted, he struck her with a stick, causing her immediate death. Rodriguez was implicated in Marina's murder. Han claimed that they disposed of the bodies in a wasteland near the ocean shore. However, as the trial began, doubts arose about the official version presented by the Ecuadorian authorities. The families of Maria and Marina believed that the case could be related to human trafficking, and they suspected that the authorities were covering up the truth. Inconsistencies in the evidence and the presence of unidentified DNA samples at the crime scene raised further questions. Despite the doubts and criticisms surrounding the investigation, Pan and Rodriguez were sentenced to 40 years in prison, the maximum sentence under Ecuadorian law. Later, another individual, Jose Luis Perez Castro, was arrested after his DNA was found at the crime scene. However, his defense argued that his presence in the house was unrelated to the crime. The families of Maria and Marina continued to seek answers, questioning the official narrative and demanding justice for their loved ones. The story of these two young women's tragic fate captured the attention of people across Latin America, shedding light on the issues of victim blaming and gender inequality. Maria Jose Can and Marina Manazo, two young Argentine women, embarked on a journey in January 2023 to explore the wonders of South America. They were both passionate about travel and eager to experience new cultures and landscapes. As volunteers for an organization that helped people living in poverty, they had a deep sense of compassion and a desire to make a positive impact in the world. Their adventure began in the Peruvian city of Cusco, a place steeped in history as the former capital of the Inca Empire. Maria and Marina immersed themselves in the rich culture and explored the ancient ruins that dotted the city. They marveled at the architectural wonders of Machu Picchu, an iconic Inca city nestled high in the Andes Mountains. Through their Instagram posts, the girls shared glimpses of their journey with their friends and family. The photos captured their joy and excitement as they posed against breathtaking backdrops, capturing the essence of their travel experience. Little did they know that these posts would later become crucial pieces of evidence in a tragic and mysterious case. On February 4th, Maria and Marina were scheduled to return home to Argentina. However, they still had about 10 days of vacation left and decided to extend their stay in Montanita, a coastal town in Ecuador. They were in no hurry to return home and wanted to make the most of their remaining time abroad. During their stay in Montanita, the girls enjoyed the vibrant atmosphere of the town. They soaked up the sun on the beautiful beaches, explored the local markets, and indulged in the delicious cuisine. It was a carefree time filled with laughter and adventure. As their departure date approached, Maria and Marina made plans to spend their last night in Lima, Peru, at a friend's house. From there, they would fly to Santiago, the capital of Chile, and then take a bus to their hometown of Mendoza, Argentina. They informed their relatives that it might be difficult to contact them for a couple of days due to poor signal reception. However, as the days passed, their families grew increasingly concerned. Attempts to reach the girls by phone were unsuccessful, and there was no activity on their social media accounts. Worried about their safety, the families tried to contact the airline to confirm if Maria and Marina had boarded their flight. Unfortunately, the airline refused to disclose any information without a court order. Adding to the worry, the friends with whom the girls had planned to spend their last night in Lima stated that Maria and Marina never showed up. This raised further alarm bells for their families, who decided to take action and report their disappearance to the authorities. On February 27th, the families contacted the emergency services in Ecuador and sought assistance from the Consulate of Argentina. The Ecuadorian authorities launched an investigation into the disappearance of Maria José Con and Marina Manazo, setting in motion a series of events that would uncover a shocking and tragic truth. With the disappearance of Maria José Con and Marina Manazo, the investigation into their whereabouts began in earnest. The families of the missing girls were desperate for answers and sought the help of the Ecuadorian authorities as well as the Consulate of Argentina. As the investigation unfolded, a disturbing pattern emerged. It was discovered that the last known location of Maria and Marina was in Montevideo, Ecuador, where they had been enjoying their vacation. The girls' families, in an effort to gather more information, turned to social media and posted a plea for help, sharing photos of the two young women and asking for any information that could lead to their whereabouts. Meanwhile, the families faced obstacles in their search for answers. The airline refused to provide any information without a court order, leaving the families frustrated and anxious. They were unable to confirm if Maria and Marina had boarded their flight from Lima to Santiago as planned. In their quest for information, the families discovered that the girls had posted a photo on Maria's Instagram account on January 13th, showing them in the Peruvian city of Cusco. This ancient city, once the capital of the Inca Empire, held historical significance and was a popular tourist destination. The next day, another photo was posted, also taken in Cusco. On January 15th, a picture was shared on Instagram showing the girls on a railway bridge near the Machu Picchu hydroelectric power plant. Machu Picchu, known as the city above the clouds, is a renowned Inca city and one of the most famous attractions in the Cusco region. The family's investigation led them to believe that Maria and Marina had planned to spend their last night in Lima before flying to Santiago. However, their friends in Lima stated that the girls never arrived at their house as planned. This raised suspicions and deepened the families' concerns about their safety. With no concrete leads, the families decided to contact the emergency services in Ecuador and report the disappearance. They also reached out to the Consulate of Argentina, seeking assistance in locating Maria and Marina. The consulate intervened in the case on February 27th, and the authorities began their investigation in earnest. Fingerprints of both girls were sent from Argentina to Ecuador for analysis. The search for Maria and Marina intensified, with law enforcement agencies working tirelessly to uncover any leads that could shed light on their disappearance. As the investigation progressed, the family's doubts about the official version of events grew. They questioned why the girls would choose to hitchhike from Ecuador to Lima when they had already purchased plane tickets for their journey. The families also highlighted the fact that Maria and Marina had credit cards with them, suggesting that they would have used them if they needed to. The family's suspicions were further fueled by the discovery of the girls' bodies. On February 23rd, Maria's body was found, followed by the discovery of Marina's body just 43 yards away. Both bodies were wrapped in plastic bags and duct tape, indicating a deliberate attempt to conceal the evidence. Toxicological analysis revealed that both girls had a significant amount of a drug used in psychiatric treatment in their blood. This raised questions about the circumstances surrounding their deaths and added to the complexity of the case. As the investigation into the disappearance of Maria José Con and Marina Manazo continued, the discovery of their bodies brought a tragic turn to the case. The family's worst fears were realized when Maria's body was found on February 23rd, followed by the discovery of Marina's body just 43 yards away. Both bodies were wrapped in plastic bags and secured with duct tape, indicating a deliberate attempt to conceal the evidence. The authorities conducted autopsies on the bodies to determine the cause of death. It was revealed that Maria had died from blunt force trauma to the head, while Marina's cause of death was consistent with the same type of violence. The toxicological analysis conducted earlier, which showed the presence of a potent drug used in psychiatric treatment in their blood, further complicated the investigation. The circumstances surrounding the deaths of Maria and Marina raised many questions. The families questioned why the girls would have been in possession of such a drug and how it ended up in their systems. The marks on their wrists also remained unexplained, adding to the mystery surrounding their deaths. The Ecuadorian authorities concluded that the girls did not hitchhike to Lima, as initially suspected. This version of events was refuted by the owner of the hotel where the girls had planned to spend their last night, who stated that nothing had been stolen from them. The families also pointed out that Maria and Marina had credit cards with them, suggesting that they would have used them if they needed to. The families' doubts about the official version of events grew stronger. They believed that the case could be related to human trafficking and that the Ecuadorian authorities were covering up the truth. The inconsistencies in the evidence and the presence of unidentified DNA samples at the crime scene raised further suspicions. In their search for answers, the families reached out to the emergency services in Ecuador and reported the disappearance. They also contacted the Consulate of Argentina, seeking assistance and support. The consulate intervened in the case on February 27th, and the authorities began working closely with their Argentine counterparts to uncover the truth. The investigation took a significant turn when the authorities arrested two suspects, Alberto Segundo Minapan and Aurelio Eduardo Rodriguez. Pan confessed to attempting to persuade Maria into intimacy, but when she resisted, he struck her with a stick, causing her immediate death. Rodriguez was implicated in Marina's death. Pan's confession shed light on the events leading up to the girls' deaths. He admitted to attempting to clean up all traces of the crime in the house and then wrapping the bodies in plastic bags and duct tape. He borrowed a cart and disposed of the bodies in a wasteland near the ocean shore, approximately 440 yards from the house. The family's doubts about the official version of events were further fueled by the defendants' changing accounts of what happened. The families believed that there were inconsistencies in the defendants' stories and that they were not being fully truthful. As the legal proceedings unfolded and the families sought justice for the deaths of Maria José Con and Marina Manazo, doubts and inconsistencies in the case began to emerge. The families, along with their legal representatives, questioned the official version of events and sought to uncover the truth behind the tragic deaths of their loved ones. One of the main points of contention was the motive behind the crimes. While Alberto Segundo Minapan confessed to attempting to persuade Maria into intimacy and causing her immediate death, the families believed that there might be more to the story. They questioned whether there were other underlying factors that led to the violent acts, such as robbery or human trafficking. The families also raised concerns about the evidence presented during the trial. They questioned the reliability of the DNA samples found at the crime scene and whether they were properly analyzed and matched to the defendants. Additionally, inconsistencies in the defendants' accounts of the events raised doubts about the accuracy of their confessions. Another point of contention was the disposal of the bodies. The families found it suspicious that the bodies of Maria and Marina were found 43 yards apart, wrapped in plastic bags and duct tape. They questioned why the bodies were separated and whether there was a specific reason for this. Furthermore, the families highlighted the fact that Maria and Marina had credit cards with them, suggesting that they would have used them if they were in financial trouble. This raised doubts about the initial theory that the girls ran out of money and resorted to hitchhiking. The families, along with their legal team, continued to investigate the case independently. They sought to gather additional evidence and testimonies that could shed light on the true circumstances surrounding the deaths of Maria and Marina. They reached out to witnesses who might have seen or heard something relevant to the case, and they explored alternative theories that could explain the events. Throughout this process, the families faced numerous challenges. They encountered resistance from certain authorities and individuals who were reluctant to cooperate or provide information. However, their determination to seek justice for Maria and Marina remained unwavering. The trial for the deaths of Maria Jose Khan and Marina Manazo, two young women whose lives were tragically cut short, began with the prosecution presenting their case against Alberto Segundo Minapan and Aurelio Eduardo Rodriguez. The families of Maria and Marina, along with their legal representatives, were determined to seek justice and find closure. During the trial, the prosecution presented evidence that linked Pan and Rodriguez to the crimes. This included DNA samples found at the crime scene that matched the defendants, as well as Pan's confession to causing Maria's death. The family's legal team cross-examined the defendants and questioned the reliability of their confessions, highlighting inconsistencies and discrepancies in their accounts. The families also presented their own evidence and witnesses to support their belief that there was more to the case than what was initially presented. They called upon individuals who had interacted with Maria and Marina in the days leading up to their deaths, as well as experts who could provide alternative explanations for the evidence found at the crime scene. After a thorough examination of the evidence and testimonies, the court reached a verdict. Alberto Segundo Minapan and Aurelio Eduardo Rodriguez were both found guilty of the crimes they were accused of. The court sentenced them to 40 years in prison, the maximum sentence under Ecuadorian law. The families, while relieved that the defendants were held accountable for their actions, still had lingering questions and doubts. They believed that there were unanswered aspects of the case and that there might be others involved who had not been brought to justice. They vowed to continue their search for the truth and to seek justice for any other individuals who might have been involved in the deaths of Maria and Marina. In the aftermath of the trial, the families focused on healing and finding closure. They leaned on each other for support and sought therapy and counseling to cope with the immense grief and trauma they had experienced. They also became advocates for justice and victims' rights, using their own tragedy to raise awareness about the importance of thorough investigations and fair trials. Even after the trial and sentencing of Alberto Segundo Minapan and Aurelio Eduardo Rodriguez, the families of Maria Jose Khan and Marina Manazo were determined to uncover the complete truth behind the deaths of their loved ones. They believed that there were still unanswered questions and potential accomplices who had not been held accountable. The families continued their pursuit of justice by engaging with authorities and pushing for further investigations. They sought to ensure that all leads were thoroughly explored and that no stone was left unturned. They reached out to law enforcement agencies, urging them to continue their efforts in uncovering any additional evidence or potential suspects. In their quest for answers, the families also sought the assistance of private investigators and forensic experts. They wanted to independently examine the evidence and explore alternative theories that might shed light on the circumstances surrounding the deaths of Maria and Marina. They were determined to challenge any inconsistencies or gaps in the official narrative. Additionally, the families became vocal advocates for victims' rights and justice reform. They shared their story with the media, raising awareness about the importance of thorough investigations, fair trials, and the need for support systems for families affected by such tragedies. They called for improved collaboration between law enforcement agencies and international cooperation in cases involving multiple jurisdictions. The families also sought the support of non-governmental organizations, NGO, and human rights groups. They collaborated with these organizations to amplify their voices and bring attention to their cause. They participated in rallies, organized awareness campaigns, and shared their experiences to shed light on the broader issue of violence against women and the need for justice in such cases. Despite their tireless efforts, the families faced challenges along the way. They encountered resistance from certain authorities who were reluctant to reopen the case or pursue further investigations. However, the families remained resilient and refused to give up. They were determined to honor the memory of Maria and Marina by seeking justice and ensuring that their voices were heard. As time went on, the families' relentless pursuit of justice began to yield results. New leads emerged and additional evidence came to light. The families' independent investigations, combined with the pressure they exerted on authorities, led to the reopening of the case and the consideration of new suspects. The family's unwavering determination and the mounting evidence eventually led to the arrest of Jose Luis Perez Castro, whose DNA was found at the crime scene. Castro was charged with involvement in the deaths of Maria and Marina, and the families hoped that his arrest would bring them closer to the truth they had been seeking. In their ongoing journey for justice, the families of Maria Jose Khan and Marina Manazo remained resilient. They continue to fight for answers, to challenge the official narrative, and to ensure that all those responsible for the deaths of their loved ones were held accountable. Their unwavering determination served as a testament to their love for Maria and Marina and their commitment to finding the truth. The story of Maria and Marina serves as a reminder of the importance of seeking justice, advocating for victims' rights, and never giving up in the face of adversity. Their family's relentless pursuit of truth stands as a testament to the power of love, resilience, and the unwavering commitment to finding justice for those who have been wronged.